Hello there everyone, it's Aidan here, and I've been thinking, across the years, we've had a number of intros to the Walking Dead universe, haven't we? Of course, there's that eerily styling opener to the main TV show with Rick Grimes and the little girl. We've also had that fake out intro in Fear the Walking Dead, and then, whatever the hell World Beyond was, and we are set to get a lot more with an assortment of spin-off shows on the horizon. That is a lot of ways to introduce a zombie apocalypse. However, there is one that stands out the most, the best of the bunch, and it isn't from any of the television shows, it's from the video game. This week, Telltale's The Walking Dead turns 10, and no, I can't believe it either. As someone that eagerly awaited each of the 5 episodes to its opening season, I just had to find a way to celebrate this monumental narrative experience. But there are so many things that could be discussed that I really struggled to pin down what it was I wanted to talk about in this video. Would it be the paranoia-filled episode set on the cannibal farm, or maybe a focus on the relationship between protagonists Clementine and Lee? But time and time again, I just kept thinking about that intro. It's simple, it's elegant, it's efficient, and it perfectly sets up our character, world and tone. So what better way to discuss how it all began by discussing how it actually all began? And of course, there are some spoilers ahead, but come on, it's been 10 years. So we open to a tilted shot of the city of Atlanta, an instantly recognisable setup for anyone familiar with the comics or the TV show. But now, instead of heading towards the city, we actually follow a car that's leaving it. It's the first thorn in your side to make you feel uncomfortable, and it's all amplified by that off-kilter angle. We then cut to the inside of the police car, where a man stares at his hands in cuffs. This is Lee Everett, our protagonist. The Walking Dead has always been one of those the people are the real monsters type universes, so seeing our main man in cuffs starts to bring up those questions. Is Lee a good or bad guy? Was he fit for a world filled with turmoil and zombies long before it existed? Or is he just a man that made a mistake? This whole scene is all about the players debating over what kind of person he is, and the game doesn't quite let us in on exactly why he's here at this stage. The odd comment here and the mention of a senatorial mess there make us aware that this wasn't your regular crime, it's one that held weight, and it's one that people know about. Of course, this is introducing one of the biggest narrative threads of Season 1. Lee is consistently questioned, doubted and judged for his past, where he was responsible for killing another man that he found sleeping with his wife. It's the biggest questioning factor for us as players and for Lee himself. Is he someone that can kill on a whim, or was that all an accident brought on by an outburst of anger? What I love about this intro so much is that it's a situated and forced conversation. You have a man on his way to prison, a one-way trip, locked in with a conversational police officer. And we can see that Lee is a relatively reserved type, and from what I interpreted from it at this point was that, yes, he's guilty, but he's full of remorse. This starts to provide a lot of answers as you steadily fill in the blanks for this character, but it also crops up a lot of questions which players will be pondering over as the story moves on. Not only that, but it also introduces this dialogue mechanic of the game, and from the very beginning you're already deciding how to play Lee through the way that you lead their conversation. It's quickly providing us with insight and mystery around our central character before we even get to the zombies and the mayhem. But of course, as all of this is going on, we are steadily becoming aware of the fact that something isn't right. A passing cop car, a muffled radio call-in, a helicopter, an accident on the road. It's a creeping crescendo of tension as we just know that something is about to go down. And eventually our fears and anxieties come to fruition as our chatty policeman slams into someone on the road. This is where there's that switch. The second half of our intro is far more what you would expect from a Walking Dead game. You've got creepy woods, dead bodies, and eventually the main attraction, zombies. Sorry, walkers. However, with its careful planting of character seeds, the second half is more about the juxtaposition of our judgments from the opening half. Lee isn't some hardened murderer, he shows concern when he sees the police officer laying outside the smashed car.
Hey! Hey, officer! Are you alright?
But at the same time, he is someone that's willing to do what needs to be done, taking the discarded shotgun to fend off the chatty and now chomping police officer. While this horror-inspired segment is far briefer than the first, to me, it perfectly sums up the yin and yang of this series. You are of course going to get your survival horror aspects, how could you not? It's a zombie apocalypse game. But it does highlight that first and foremost, the characters would be at its heart, and the action would always be grounded. And as we go on to meet Clementine, the game becomes a telling and redemptive arc of Lee Everett through this surrogate father-daughter relationship. It's the emotional backbone of the game that adds a complex layer to it by first introducing Lee's own struggles, where he wonders if he himself is even suitable to look after a child. But let's take it one step further than that. This information granted to the player in those opening minutes provides both initial distrust in Lee and the anxiety of what others will think if they find out who or what he is. This is a really great way for players to immediately get on Lee's side. Even if you're unsure on him, you feel the urge to protect this secret, as if you've stumbled upon it by accident and you're just now in too deep. And the game of course gives you the ability to lie, deflect, or completely fess up on the whole matter as we move past this intro. So from all of this, we learned that we live in a grounded world filled with mature drama and subject matter. Characters are the focus as we set up internal conflicts with our protagonist concerning adultery and murder, and that's before he even comes across Clementine. And we know that this is a violent world where people get hurt and injuries matter, as Lee spends most of the first episode hobbling around with a slashed leg and, the guy that gets the shotgun blast to the face. All in all, it convinced us of its tone, laid the groundwork for plenty of drama, and proved that it would be something different from what we'd seen with the comics and TV show by this point. And that's why I loved it so much and just had to talk about it today. It basically says, yeah, we are The Walking Dead, but not as you know it. Thanks everyone for watching. Let me know your favourite memory from the first season of The Walking Dead, and of course, let's discuss how much that season 1 ending emotionally devastated us all. And as an extra, let me know if you'd like to see more analytical stuff like this. It was a bit of an experiment today, but if you'd like to see scene breakdowns from classic PlayStation games, then leave some suggestions down below and we can look into it in the future. As always, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more PlayStation based content right here on Push Square.